so sick of this side cucked thing where it's like we have to keep doing, well, Hassan bad though. Hassan bad. I'm like, yes, Hassan bad, we know. But also like everyone on the other side also fucking sucks, okay? Everyone involved in every fucking drama sucks. That should be our starting position. Stop siding with people. It's gay. So gay. As an artist, whether audience or creator, I work likes me is kind of important depending on the way, the why behind it. Because if the audience feels like I'm not giving my best, then there's a problem. Yeah, I mean, I'd say that I care about audience feedback from people who have been an audience member for a long time and I sort of trust the takes of. But ultimately, like, am I sat here watching chat being like, okay, well, which way is chat leading today? Nah, fuck that. It's cucked. I hate that shit. I hate that shit. I think it's a bad way to make content. I said this recently, right? I said this, I wonder whether my Ponder coverage was exactly where I wanted it to be, because of some of the feedback I was getting at the time. And I don't know whether I was being a bit cucked with some of that shit. Beckett is just mean to me in private and public, but grooms me. That is true and accurate. Listen, the last time I was mean to Falgi was in DMs the other day, but in that case, he did start it, okay? That is completely on him. Tespin with the 2, your flowers, but we demand stickers in return. Okay, well, you get one more to the sticker. It's almost worth waiting. Somebody super chat so I can give you some fucking stickers and then we can start. I don't want to have to stop. Okay? That's how we're going to do it. That's how we're going to do it. We're going to listen. The only audience that matters is your own. True Slug, thank you very much. Thank you very much for getting stickers for chat. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Much appreciated. That is fucking awesome. Please enjoy these stickers. Okay. Let's get into this stuff. Platinum with the 279. Bet. So true, guys. Thank you. I reset that goal for you. Right. We're going to start with Chud. We're going to start with Chud because Chud was on holiday and he came back to do this response. And then we're going to move on to Nick. Okay?
Challenging the idea that I was estranged. Well, you're telling me, yes, I was estranged.
Just a retard with the 5. Or they can be dumb VTubers like Momomoko, who tried to dismiss the Nux claims and tried to turn it into left. Oh, I saw that. Dude, that was so fucking retarded. I'm so sick. Well, I don't know how bad this Nux stuff is. He's in DMs with the fucking minor. He's in calls with, like, they're in fucking voice chats together. Nux obviously knew who the fuck this person was. What do you mean, motherfucker? It's so obvious. Like, watch the fucking video. Oh, fucking Tactical Templar. Oh, I just think this is a disingenuous nothing burger. I just think it's a, oh yeah? Really? Mr. fucking I love VTubers and preach about Christian. Oh, well, if he's not part of our religion, what the fuck are you doing? You absolute degenerate freak. God, I hate these people.
Fuck it, I'll show it. Fuck you, Nicholas Diorio. Oh, yeah, by the way, I have had a problem with you for months. Bro, what?
God, listen, DK hasn't lost his fucking touch. Let's just be honest.
John Wick of commentary, crying about people screenshotting his members' Discord. They waited for me to go away before releasing it. That is ridiculous, bro. I don't know, dude. I guess you can make your own mind up, but it does seem kind of suspicious. It does seem that there's been a little bit of, while the cat's away, the mice will play. Someone tried to cast a great shadow over my channel. Haven't you been in a one-sided Cold War with Nick for over a year now? Well, you think it's one-sided because you don't see behind the scenes. You don't see the angry messages that I get when I say something out of pocket on stream. It seems one-sided to you, but it's not to me because I get the little angry message. Chud, you said this thing on stream, Chud. Yeah, dude.
Okay, so, like, obviously Nick's leaked all their DMs, and it's a real, like, okay, so do you know what, fuck the shit. Chud will allude in this stream to not being able to leak a group chat. And I'm also not going to leak that group chat. But I'm in it. I've seen it. I'm there. But like you see, like this group chat has history of being leaked. It's a tea party chat, okay? Like, I fucking dude, I'm so sick of this shit. This, like, what's really frustrating, what's really annoying about this Cold War shit? Chud is aware, because Chud is not retarded, that going to like fight with Nicholas Diorio is probably probably not a great career move. It's just not a sensible thing to do, because Nick has the bigger audience, more connections, has been around longer, and like you don't want to fuck that network up. That's like, and people will be like, that's a cucked position. That's how basically everyone is on YouTube. That's how everyone is, bro. Everyone to some extent is trying to protect their networks, because the minute you fuck those up, you are dead in the water. Has anyone looked at Cy Scribble's channel recently? It's fucking dead, bro. The only way that certain people survive, like Westside Tyler has managed to survive, but he's gone so off the fucking wall that the FBI visited him recently. Okay? Like, you need to maintain these connections to some, like, at some level. Because otherwise you don't get the exposure, because everyone has audience overlap. Everyone talks to each other. Everyone's gonna be like, do you like this content creator? Because, like, we're all little fucking communities. It's fucking, why is anyone pretending this? I can see people in chat who I know I have DMs with and chat with and like and go, and there's an element where like actually, you know what, Shamu's in chat, so Shamu's a good example of this. I quite like Shamu. I think his takes are really good, and there's an element around that where I'm like, one day, maybe, if there's a good crossover, maybe I could, like, bring Shamu on stream, and we can chat about something. That'd be good content with somebody who, like, the opinion, like, I like their opinions and takes and think they're entertaining, because I've seen them on, like, streams with Dickers. You think like that, because you're a fucking content creator. Of course you fucking do, bro. And there's an element where, like, from an audience perspective, you don't see that. You're not aware of it, but the way you have to think about it is in the same way you would in any friendship group, because these are little fucking friendship groups, whatever you want to say about it. It's just the reality. I don't like the pretending otherwise. If Chud had just gone, listen, Nick's my friend, I'm obviously maintaining that friendship and just like hang out, even if it was just a business thing, that would be like, I don't know, like I don't know, that seems like an obvious thing to say, because they were so friendly. Nick was in Chud's chat all the fucking time, hanging out, chilling. He'd be able to come on stream. He'd be able to set those calls up. Nick is a great contact to have. That's just the reality. Jack Walker with the 5. No one likes a rat. I mean, the problem, yeah. I mean, it is this thing as well, where if you feel like you've brought somebody into a community, you're like, oh, there's a certain element, right? Yeah, it's an uncomfortable reality, but it is the reality. And I think that regardless of what else happens, I mean, Chud's now in a position where he jokes about this on stream, but he's getting sort of badmouthed publicly by far larger channels and more creators over this fallout of a relationship. And that's a fucking rough position to be in. That is a fucking rough position to be in. I know, because over the Destiny stuff, I lost contacts. I know that there are people who will be like, I don't want to deal with Beckett because of the Destiny stuff. I don't trust Cope and Seethe because of the Destiny stuff. I see that, and I know that there are other. And you know what? Fair enough. I get it. I knew that was going to be a consequence of me doing it in the first place. But if you're gonna do this shit, you should probably be aware of the consequences of it and what it will do to you long term. Because it does. It has impacts.
That's the other thing as well, man. Since when did it become a noble act to be a bunch of fucking mean girls? Apparently, they've all been bitching about me for months! What the fuck, dude? And I felt this. I felt this energy. I talked about feeling fucking estranged.
Transnat with the 2. What's up today? I'm not familiar with the circus. We're doing Commentary Civil War again. Commentary Civil War. I mean, maybe the final chapter. Who's fucking left? I mean, the commentary community is dead. It's dead. I don't know if I'd refer to myself as commentary. Somebody was like, oh, Beckett's ACC. And I'm like, yeah, probably. I mean, most of my it's not like the ACC is dead, but largely my content is like niche shit. It's not mainstream commentary by any means now. What even is the commentary community? Do you know what? The commentary community is basically just Toastify now, because Nick is overdoing like more mainstream things, but Nick isn't. I don't know if I describe Nicholas Diorio as commentary community anymore, frankly, because like Nick has gone much more mainstream. If you watch Nick's content, it is much more mainstream than what anything that the commentary community really was. It's like slightly less edgy. It's got wider, much broader appeal. Like, it's Toastify. Toastify is the last remaining remnant of the real commentary community. It's him. That's it. It's just fucking Toastify sat on his own being like, I'm gonna make a video on Lewis McClung.
It's because all of a sudden no one wanted to fuck with me anymore, which is fine, by the way. But it's like they've all been talking behind the scenes about me, apparently, talking shit about me. Why not just tell me, hey, I don't fuck with you anymore? Why don't you say, oh, hey, I don't really like that you said this. We can talk about it or not. And I don't fuck with you anymore for that reason. To be honest with you, I'm quite pleased this has happened. Because now the band-aid is off and we don't need to play games anymore. We don't need to pretend that we're all friends and everything's tickety-boo when there's unresolved resentment and tension simmering away. So it's good. Let's just...
Kyrise, missed my super chat, but the CC is... Fuck, every time. Sorry, give me a second. I refuse to do this to Kyrise. It's every fucking time. Where are we? The release choice... the release choice screenshots of the DMs, bold move, Cotton, that worked out well for Bo Blacks. Let's see how Chud does. Yeah, I think that releasing the DMs is probably, like, if you're gonna release the DMs, release all your fucking DMs. Yeah, no, that's, we'll get to them, I guess. Christopher, with the 3 months at molding testifies the ACC, like Tom, no leaving that lol. Yes, well, yeah, that's true. That's why we tried to take care of Toastify. Okay, he's a good lad. White Girl with the 5. Beckett King of Crabs, more like Beckett King of the ACC. That's brutal. That's depressing. I think I need to quit. Kai Rides with 2. Missed my super chat, but yeah, the CC is dead. Yeah, CC is dead.
Just fucking rip the band-aid off and call it what it is. Let's call a spade then. Dude, it's so annoying. I'm gonna tiptoe round some fat loser. Because if you say the wrong thing, you're gonna get angry DM complaining to you about it, dude. We don't have to worry about that anymore, dude. He said his piece. He's done his little move, hasn't he? Where he sort of criticizes me whilst I'm away, and now he can just ignore me. You mounted an attack when he was sleeping. Mounted an attack. I said, oh, the big sweep could be on. That was my mounting an attack. Who talks about this and who doesn't is a sign of something. That's mounting an attack, wonderful. Apparently. Dude, do you see... Fuck me, dude. Do you see the insanity that people have got to?
See, here's kind of the issue with this statement. Because I've said before that there is definitely an element here where I would expect to see more... Fuck, I argued with Tommy C about this. There is an element here where... if it was other people, you'd see far more shitter channels covering it. Like, and I do mean like video essayists, like the small people. Like it's just cam nuggets. I would expect to see, like, we got this through the Mr. Beast stuff, right? You saw like huge amounts of videos coming out of like the Mr. Beast stuff or the I'm Alex stuff. However, there is also like, there is a context here, right? Like, there have been little snipes from multiple people towards Nick of him essentially changing and refusing and not dealing with difficult problems. I think that's like, or more challenging questions. And I think that that's kind of at the root of a lot of the criticism that Diorio has received over the last sort of like 8 months, where it's like, okay, well, you don't want to get on stream. You don't want to debate Willie Mack. You don't want to debate like about Willie Mack, or you don't want to debate Queeman, or you don't want to debate this person. You don't want to just do these fucking stream conversations anymore. That's kind of a bitch move. That's a basic like criticism of Diorio. But here's the thing. When you take that criticism as an existing thing and then you say, oh, I think the big sweep is on. Well, the implication there is like, okay, well, who's going to sweep for Turkey Tom? Could it be, I don't know, one of his closest friends? I mean, yeah, it seems like a pretty obvious allusion to Diorio and the rest of the commentary community. And there might have been some fucking truth to it. Like, I think the reality is actually there probably was some fucking truth to it. I've heard the arguments on the other side of it. No, you have to wait. You have to wait until the response is out. You didn't even know there was going to be a fucking response. For most people, did not know whether there was going to be a response for the Turkey Tom stuff. Most people had no idea because they've got no contact with Turkey Tom. But obviously they are worried about that relationship in a way they're not worried about, like, I Am Alex. Even if it's just regurgitating the fact the accusations have happened. And this wasn't just day one. This was over weeks, when also you had the fucking Null interview. There was just, like, there wasn't the same level of coverage that you would expect for other similar-sized content creators. However, these comments from Chud do not exist purely in that void in isolation. There is a much wider context here.
Where me saying things like that are seen as some insane attack, when it was.
And actually, do you know what? Fuck it. You know what? If people leak the fucking Tea Party chat, leak the Tea Party chat, because they're clearly arguing about this shit. Everyone's arguing about this shit. Leak the fucking Tea Party chat. I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. But like, they're, you know, fuck it. I don't even know if Keemstar would care. Actually, it's a pretty dead chat.
Wasn't even that fucking crazy, bro. I didn't say anything that fucking crazy, dude. People are acting like I was out here saying deranged shit. Dude, do you see the problem? Do you see what's happened here? There's this insane narrative that's been perpetuated about me. None of these retards have actually watched my coverage, and they're just angry at me. It seems like there's more an issue with your fans brigading him when you first called him a sweeper.
Okay, so here's one thing I will say, because I do think that there is some unfairness to Chud over his Tom coverage. I think that his Tom coverage was, broadly speaking, fine. It was fine. Like, Chud was getting criticism from KF for some of his later shit. Now, people can argue that's a course correction or whatever, but I've watched Chud's original coverage of the Tom accusations. And you know what? He is just covering what's there. Now, there are some choice comments, particularly around the podcast being halted, which is like, well, obviously the podcast would be halted, regardless of whether they're true or not, because you're not going to be like, yeah, just business as fucking usual. But, like, the idea that Chud was coming out to be like, let's crucify Turkey Tom right at the fucking beginning, and, like, right off the bat, it is just not accurate. That Chud didn't do that. He did, though, and this is sort of Tommy's, I guess, accusation against Chud at base. Chud did come out and just go, yeah, but fuck it, we're just going to cover it. Like, immediately. Like, day one, we're going to hit the ground running. Doesn't matter about previous relationships with Tom. Doesn't matter about, like, we need to, like, whatever. That's news, we're going to cover it. And that's how Chud works and functions. And I think that's, you know, at base, the criticism that other creators have for Chud. So, again, it's sort of like, it plays in, right?
You're actually saying that. The problem is, it wasn't predominantly my fans. I mean, was he even brigaded? I don't know. I feel like this is classic Darvo, to be honest with you. This is classic Darvo that's being engaged in. Bro, my video...
Did Beckett not see Chudlogic cover the dog girl thing on Tom IRL just a bit? No, I didn't.
Videos were getting fucking raped, dude. Dislike bombed, fucking every comment was about, you're sweeping, you're sweeping, you're sweeping. So who's getting fucking brigaded exactly? And again, I don't give a fuck, dude. Fucking leave your shitter comments. But this idea that, like, he's some victim is so pathetic, dude. Let's get into it, guys. This goes back. This goes way back, okay, guys. That's wonderful. All this business with Nick, okay? Nick wants you to believe that I had some crazy take about the Turkey Tom thing. Wanted to make a bunch of jokes about me sweeping because I didn't cover his response because I was on vacation. This all goes back to the New Year's stream. That's the reality of it. How much drama came off of the fucking New Year's stream, bro? How much fucking drama came off of the New Year's stream, dude? So before the New Year's stream started, Nicholas, Big Nick, Pigolus, FFW, as I've heard him be called, which I disavow, terrible term, okay? He didn't want to talk about the Destiny stuff, and I was fine with that. I was cool with that. If they didn't want to talk about it, fair enough. If they didn't want to talk about the Destiny stuff, I understood that Tom was in a position where he was kind of still in his orbit and all this shit, and I was like, okay, whatever, right? And I think Nicholas maybe had some wind of, like, some of the stuff that was going on behind the scenes.
Hold on a second. Okay, I'm gonna let this play out because this is an interesting way to phrase this.
That Tom was in a position where he was kind of still in his orbit and all this shit, and I was like, okay, whatever, right? And I think Nicholas maybe had some wind of, like, some of the stuff that was going on behind the scenes. But then he brought it up on stream, and then people started saying stupid things.
Hold on. No. Okay. I know that Chud is talking off the cuff, but this is a little oh fuck, now I'm sweeping because I want to choose my words carefully. This is a pretty fucking weird way to phrase that. We're just gonna go back. We're just gonna go back. I actually want to focus in on that. That is a weird way to phrase the issue with the fucking New Year's stream.
If they didn't want to talk about it, fair enough. If they didn't want to talk about the Destiny stuff, I understood that Tom was in a position where he was kind of still in his orbit and all this shit, and I was like, okay, whatever, right? And I think Nicholas maybe had some wind of like some of the stuff that was going.
Bro, what the fuck do you mean? Chud had more information than anybody else on that stream. Chud had more... Oh my god, okay. Chud had more information about the DMs that I released in January than anyone else on that stream. Now, it is debatable how much information Nick had. The only person who would know how much information Nick had was between Chud and Nick, by the way. Holy fucking shit, bro. What? What do you mean? The reason that it was agreed not to talk about it is because the DMs weren't fucking public and everyone behind the scenes was like, Destiny is fucked, bro. Destiny is fucked. He is guilty. But we can't say that because the DMs aren't out. I actually think that, I believe that Turkey Tom knew vaguely that Destiny was guilty, but also was trying to play it carefully because the DMs weren't out. They were like spread around in fucking private, bro. That's why I fucking released them, because all these motherfuckers. Holy shit. Okay, no, do you know what? Fuck this. One of the reasons that I released the Destiny DMs in January, by the way, is because they were a fucking crypto hazard. Do you have any idea how many fucking commentators knew about this shit? And we're like, well, we need to wait for it to be released. Can you imagine a scenario where, like, nobody had talked about them, and then everyone had found out, like a year later, that, like, commentary had all the fucking evidence that Destiny was fucking guilty? It would have fucking crashed everybody! What the fuck is wrong with all of you? I should never have had to release those DMs. People should have realized how fucking damaging they could be to even fucking know about. This is so retarded. And people on that New Year's stream knew more than they could really talk about. And the issue was, it turned into a fucking conversation where no one could really play their cards. This is, and again, Chud knows this because Chud had more information than other people did about these leaks. And that's fine, by the way. That's not an issue. That's just like, actually, like, and again, I do mean than the vast majority. I don't know how much Nick knew at the time. But, like, again, the prevailing position was that Destiny was fucked long before the fucking New Year's stream. Like, weeks before. So, I don't know why this is getting played this way. It was to do with the fact that information was being, like hands were being played when no one could, like, show their cards. That was the issue with the New Year's stream. Priestess with the 2, someone called Xylo. Transnight with the 2, is this man maybe an impulsive liar? Again, I think he's just sort of like brushing over it. I just think that this is again, this is part of the problem. It's all this stuff has occurred over like a year's time. I fucking, someone needs to lay out some of the shit that happened behind the scenes, because I genuinely think that people are confused about some of this shit or making assumptions about some of it. But it's like, this is just retarded. This is just fuck me.
Going on behind the scenes. But then he brought it up on stream, and then people started saying stupid things about it. And me being me, I cannot sit there and have people say stupid things about a topic that I disagree with.
Not just that you disagree with, Chud, that you know is wrong. You know, okay, again, Chud knew the risks because Chud knew that Destiny was fucking done this shit, because it's in the DMs. Fuck.
And bite my tongue. I have to say something about it. I have to say something. I have to comment. I have to comment about it, dude. I have to speak. And I just felt like people were just saying stupid things about it. So I just said my piece and challenged people a bit on it. Do you know what I mean? I didn't ask the question. I believe Nicholas brought it up. And the reality is, that was like the start.
That is true. That is true. Nicholas did bring it up, and he's fucking dumb for doing that. Mr. Optics raises the fucking topic that they're not meant to raise. Actually retarded, but never mind. Never mind, fuck it, whatever.
Part of it. That was the start of my issues with these people. Because, you know, from there, I think Turkey Tom got like a bee in his bonnet about me because he felt that I was being challenging. So he apparently turned out not liking me off the back of that, which I didn't really know or understand.
Do you know what? The only person I think who genuinely didn't have these fucking DMs was Queeman. How fucking retarded is that? The only person who didn't have these DMs ahead of time was fucking Queeman, in my opinion. Maybe Justo didn't have them either. But, like, because I remember Queeman being actually fucking annoyed at me for not telling him. Like, apparently he didn't get told by anybody. The only person with clean hands, totally fucking clean hands, is fucking Queeman. Retarded.
Willie Mack, a few months later, I think, took issue with me challenging him about some of his tweeting and some of his takes about the Destiny video that he did. Again, something that wasn't really made clear to me. And it just was sort of left with us not really speaking anymore. And then it turns out later during the Tommy C drama that Willie Mack had some fucking big issue with me, apparently, right? And so I think that was really the start of the end. That was the point at which people were like, yeah, this Chud guy can't really be trusted. You know, he's I mean, I don't know how they framed it exactly, but I think from my perspective, I just was a bit challenging on points. So yeah, I think that was the start of it, but I still had like a friendship and a connection with Nick, you know? I guess like there was probably some behind the scenes conversations that were happening that I wasn't privy to. But I think it started this kind of like negative perception of me that was being shared amongst these people. Obviously, I've got no visibility of that and I can't see that.
Okay, so here's, because like there's been the question about the Cabal. Cabal, what did the Cabal do? The Cabal doesn't exist anymore, guys. What the Cabal was essentially like the Cabal was essentially a group of commentators within commentary like 2022 to 2024, bit of a rolling roster, but it's largely a meme that came out of like Now Recording and Matt Pitt. In fact, actually, I think it came from Ico, but there was a friendship group, but largely this idea that Chud was talked about within this friendship group doesn't exist anymore. It's like fucking gone. Matt Pitt is gone, guys. Matt Pitt is gone. Okay. And a lot of this stuff of like people who would get in VCs or you just hang out, it's just not happening anymore. If there were conversations behind the scenes, they were happening between people who are still maintaining those friendships privately, probably like one-on-one. There wasn't like, and nobody has ever come to me and been like, so how do, like, we need to burn Chudlogic to the ground. Like, you need to not be friends with Chudlogic. Are you using the bold version of Shinigami Eyes? There's different versions. I just use the fuck. I use whatever version. I just want to see who's like being deemed transphobic. Also, people can't steal my screenshots then because I'm like the only one in commentary who uses Shinigami Eyes. It's nice. It's colorful. Hey there, Nick. Simman with the 2. When is the next Now Recording stream? Fuck who knows. We talked about reviving it. Fuck, I might, do you know what? I petition to give it to Tommy C. Tommy C should take over Now Recording. That's my petition.
But that's my perception and my belief is that they started to talk a bit of shit about me, you know? And then a few months later, there is the immortal clip. There's the immortal clip that caused tremendous psychic damage. This clip was, I believe, the dagger in the heart of our friendship, but we didn't know it at the time. It's as dry as the fucking Sahara, unless you're willing to do the 20th stream sucking off fucking Ethan Klein. Yes, I'm talking about you, Nicholas Diorio, okay? This, ladies and gentlemen, was the start of the end for me and Nick.
Do you know what? I don't think that was the start of the end for him and Nick. I can't speak for it, but like I don't know what was going on in Nick's head. I think it was the constant little fucking comments and random shots that were just like a little bit offhand. I think that was a big part of it. But ultimately, I think that a lot of this comes down to the fact that there's this element with like overcorrection of a bias. And it's like, if somebody's in drama who you know and you're friendly with, should you be more harsh with them so you don't look like you're sweeping? And I think that overcorrection is what was like an issue within commentary. It's like, okay, I'm not even going to get a fair hearing. If anything, it's going to be worse if we have a friendship because like you can get me on straight. And like maybe people saw this a bit with the Mudahar stuff, right? It's like you've got some sort of pre-existing stuff and look how much harder Chud went. because Chud was like, oh, this is a fucking credibility attack. And it is a credibility attack, as is, you know, sweeping allegations. I think that's a big part of it. I think that's a big part of it. Do people want to get on a stream? In fact, actually, I mean, chat's bitched at me about this before. I won't have ambushes. If somebody comes on to talk to me, whether it's Parlo or anything else, I won't, like, bring in Falgi or bring in somebody else to, like, ambush them. Because, like, if you're going to get on a stream with somebody, if you're going to expect people to get on a stream with you, they have to know they have a chance, right? Otherwise, why would they ever get on the fucking stream? And the truth is, I think a lot of people felt like if you get on a stream with Chudlogic, you're probably going to get ambushed by Queeman, or you're going to, like, have a bad time, or you're going to get ripped apart by the audience. And it's a no-win scenario. Now, I've said before that that's one of the reasons that I quite like Chud's audience, because whatever happens on a Chud stream, the start and end conditions are exactly the same. You could have the best performance in the world or the worst, and his audience will react to you in exactly the same fucking way. It just doesn't matter. It makes no fucking difference. But I can see why that would be an issue for other people who don't think that way. Yo boy lethality with the 5. I'm pretty sure that the Cabal came from Chris Hansen drama. Was that from the Hansen drama? Oh, it was. Also, guys, thank you so much. Please enjoy these stickers. What should we do? Let's do some take stickers. Thank you so much for the continued support. It is much appreciated. Let me get that goal for you. Let me get that goal for you guys. Much appreciated. Okay, let's keep going.